Hello, Internet friends. Yes, it is Aaron Stewart back again for another beautiful episode here from the Little Black Couch on, items of entrepreneurship that happen to be hopefully helpful and this, as today goes, pretty important. I am sporting my new spectacles, which I don't know. Are they okay? They look weird. I can't see anybody. Anyway, so yeah, let's hop on. We'll go ahead and get started. As you can see in the title, we are going to be talking about links today. And this is based on a question that I got from a good friend of mine. So Dougie, this is for you. Let's jump. I'll say that dancing with the glasses on. So these are like truly old people glasses. They seem like they're kind of weird though. Feels like they're twisted on my face. Are they twisted on my face? Anyway, it just looks funny through here. Anyway, I'm not used to wearing glasses. I used to wear them when I was younger, and then got the magical. I visited the magical world of LASIK, which was awesome. That was like great. Anyway, but I have now developed poor vision again. I've had the LASIK worked for about 15 years, and then I just noticed things are starting to get a little tough. And so these are progressive lenses. So readers down here, and the regular vision up here. So you're kind of fuzzy like that. And pretty decent. Right in the middle is the best for this sort of, anyway, to see my screen. But it's been hard to get used to sort of the, and like from the sides, it's very blurry out there. Anyway, apparently for us old folks, this is what you need to use, or aging folks, or what are they? A fine, I guess fine wine is aged. So as is some of the the smelliest cheese. Yeah. Okay. So, folks, I'm real excited to talk to you today about. Wow, my eyes are freaking out. So, hey, here's the cool thing. This eye here, you would see close up, and this eye here was totally clear far away. So I had like bifocal whatever vision anyway, and so each lens is very very different depending on where I'm where I'm looking. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting deal. So science is fabulous. We'll see eventually if my brain's sharp enough to actually make these glasses work for me. But as of right now, they don't work at all. No, it's fine. It's pretty good. Oh wow, getting little some messages from my good friend Myron Golden right now. So good for him. Looks like he's playing little golf tomorrow in California. So good on ya. Good on you, Myron. He called me out today in a presentation, which was awesome. So anyway, what I wanted to do today, I wanted to jump in really quickly, and somebody pointed out that I had not been doing a very good job of bringing in my friend, the Little Black Couch, right? So Buddy's been left out for like a few episodes, and it's I know it's annoying him, but it's also been worrisome for some of you. So I've brought Buddy in today. He is, again, he's always helpful in sharing. That is a nice representation of links. So thanks, Buddy. That's great. I appreciate that very much. And he is typically very helpful. You saw today too that he is holding on to printer cartridges, which I need to take home because my daughter has to print out some paperwork to take to school, right? So we're back into it. And I'd also like to show that I am in my winter outfit today. So as many of you know who had, I think it was one of the first episodes I did, I talked about sort of life hacks and how you live. So when it's less than 70 degrees, I always wear either a black pair of jeans or a gray pair of jeans. And I've got 3 pair of each. And then I either wear a long sleeve white t-shirt or a long sleeve black t-shirt. That's it. That's all I got. So really easy to get dressed in the morning. I waste absolutely no time getting dressed. And I already met and married the girl of my dreams. So who am I? I'm the girl of my dreams. So who am I trying to impress, right? So, okay, good. So we're going to try something kind of fun today. I hope that it works. We're going to try a new little piece of technology. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on and I'm going to do essentially try to run through a few slides on a presentation that I put together probably like a year and a half ago. It was for Solo SEO of, I'm co-founder of Solo SEO. And so I'm into SEO and I love SEO and I guess I know some stuff. And so this was a presentation that I put together and it's awesome. I mean, so I wanted to talk about links a little bit. A question came in from a good buddy of mine who has been starting to do a lot better, not a little better, but a lot better on getting out there and putting out content. Okay. And he's a blogger. So he's been pushing out a lot of new content and he had taken a lot of time off, like 3 or 4 years, and is just kind of living on, and he'd done a really good job of getting content going. And that he had brought in a lot of traffic. And so his site was doing really well. And he wasn't paying for any ads. And he had all this like free traffic coming in from people that were searching for the kind of stuff that he was offering. And he's a consultant. He helps people with their sales processes, trains salespeople, whatever. So he was doing really well with that. He had a lot of cool stuff going on and a lot of freebies and workbooks and all this kind of fun stuff. So he was doing really well with that, but he's noticed that his content, that it's not bringing in as much traffic as it used to. And so he was worried about things changing and whatever. So I just kind of took a brief look at it and looked at it. And I realized that his content is still really, really good, but he had not optimized it with links. And so I had a good talk to him about links and what he should be doing. And if he just goes through the content that he already has that's been ranked well and everything, and he just makes a few adjustments, then he's going to see a huge uptake in his traffic again. And it's amazing to me that how powerful content can be, because if you write really good content on a subject that's really interesting to people, then they will find you. Okay? And Google will rank you high. If you are delivering relevant results, if you are delivering content which really answers questions and provides value to other people, Google will make sure they find you. Right? Because Google gets an attaboy too if they're putting forth the best possible sites to answer certain questions. So if we are taking the time to put out good content and answer questions and provide value, then Google will make sure that we get found. Okay, whether it's in YouTube or whether it's on a site, Google's going to make sure that they're driving people to the folks that are experts and are doing a really good job with that. Okay, so and this is what my buddy's site does. He does a really good job. Okay, so I'm going to bring up a presentation. It's going to be a little weird because I'm doing it on this iPad that it's connected to my computer, and I'm going to see if I can bring it up and just present it right on the screen. So this will be pretty cool. If this works, then this will be a really cool way, a really fun way to develop courses and do courses using this Ecamm Live product that I've started to use for Facebook Live. So it's kind of a test. I appreciate everybody, giving me a little leeway here. It could be really great and it could be really bad, but we'll just see. The problem is I don't really have presenter notes, so I'm just going to have to wing it. But I think everybody at home will be fine with that. We'll just see how, and the transitions, you're not really sure on the transitions and stuff. So, but hey, the information's here. We'll go through some information to help hopefully everybody that's producing a whole bunch of content, make sure that you're getting the most out of your content by remembering that links are important, not necessarily for right now, but as you go forward, if you really, really want to get to a point where you don't have to pay for ads, this is a big deal. Okay, this is a good presentation. So I am going to bring up my screen now, my iPad, by clicking right here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so Well, first and foremost, there's a definition on links, okay? And that's when another site creates a clickable link back to on their website that points to another website, that's called a link, right? Everybody kind of gets that and understands that. But one of the questions that I had from, and I'll just kind of show you some examples here. So, so it's playing now. Okay, so we're playing now. So that right there, the New England's Patriot, that's a link, right? But this is what we call an internal link. So if you clicked on that link, it would take you to somewhere else within the site. Okay, so that's an internal link, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. And then you've got other kinds of links that are called external links, which is what we were kind of talking about. This is a clickable link. Like if I click on that link, I'm going to be taken to a different site. From my site someplace else, that is called an external link, right? So it's going away. So you've got internal links that are connected within your site. If you even think about like your own menu, if you click on anything on your site or funnel that takes you to anywhere else within your site, like further down the page, like checkout now, and it takes you to the bottom, then that is considered a internal link. Where if it takes you outside of the property, that's an external link. Okay, so that's what links are. And so for years, just a brief sort of history. So for years and years, really before Google, the only way search engines knew how to deliver results to people that were searching, and this is going back to like Dogpile and Excite and all those old guys, right? Was based on essentially content that was on your page. So they would go through an index, scan your site and look for content, and then they would send people to your site based on the content was on the page. Well, what started happening? Well, guys started to, and presumably girls too, I apologize, but folks, there you go, folks. Is that better for everybody? So folks started doing pretty, we call it black hat, but pretty spammy stuff where they would create pages of ridiculous content that looked like good to read, you know, like you could read it, but they would fill it full of all these keywords that we talked about a few weeks ago, a bunch of keywords, and then they would just make those keywords white so you couldn't see it on the page, so you could still read the page, but they loaded it up with keywords so the search engines at that time would look and go, oh my word, this page is really about this, or this page is really about this. It was sometimes not about that at all. They just had some sort of a sales page up there and they were trying to make a bunch of money, right? So search engines were not once people started figuring this out, search engines could deliver some really bad results because everybody was trying to game them and trying to get folks just any way they possibly could to come to their site. Okay, so that was the cool thing about Google is Google came in and said, okay, yeah, content is important, and it still is, because content is the item that actually answers the question and provides some value. But let's start looking around and see who's linking to different pages, because that is a good way for us to figure out if that's really something that's valuable. If other people are linking to it, it's probably a pretty good piece of content. So that's where Google kind of turned search engines and the way we search and how they determined which sites they would put up in the rankings was they started looking at links. So links became sort of a popularity contest where we started to use links to drive people. Google started to look at the links that would come to your site, and if they were links from really good sources, from good pages, reputable sites, then Google would say, okay, this obviously is a very good site or a very good page about these keywords on the page, right? And they would start sending more people to your site. Okay, so this is what changed everything, right? Everything now is changed because Google started doing it this way. So you started to see pages that brought a lot more relevance and reliability. So you could start trusting, like when we go to Google and we put in a bunch of keywords, we're shocked now if it's not a page that has some kind of relevance. Where back in the day, you could go to a search engine and you wouldn't know what would pop up on the other side. You didn't know if it was some sort of spammy black hat jerk that was just trying to get you to buy stuff and then put up just a bunch of keywords about, you know, car repair and filled up their page with car repair, you know, keywords in white, so you couldn't actually read them, and then it was just a sales page selling whatever garbage they were selling, okay? So this started really hitting on folks that were being spammy, right? Now did it fix everything? No, I mean, we started to see some other things go on, some black hack things going on, where people started to create other sites, other places, and then they would start sending links in. And then Google caught on to that too. So, but we'll talk about that. So, a link is a vote of trust or authority from another site, right? From another site. So, coming into your site or going to another site. And so, these are the things that really are considered by Google. Let's say Google, Yahoo, and Bing, but really we're talking about Google. They still control the most of it. So, the context of the page with the link. So, what's the link? What's that page talking about? What's the topic about? What's the content about? The next thing is the page that the link points to, right? So where is that link taking you? And what is the content on that page? What is is it directly related to whatever this person's searching about? And then another thing, the text of the link itself, that's actually important because that gives Google and folks that are looking at it an idea of what that link is going to take you to. It used to be, I don't know if you remember this, but it used to be back in the day because it was all straight HTML and really hard to code and whatever. We would just put like, click here. Like we would talk about something and then we'd put click here. And that was the anchor text that took you to the next page where you could learn about whatever they had been talking about, right? Click here. Well, that's not done anymore. We can now create whatever text we want and turn that into a link that takes you to the next site, right? So that's kind of a cool, that's a huge change, a cool change to how search engines work and how essentially web design has changed. So we can now take text, and it doesn't matter really sort of all of the templated systems that you use now or the web builders and stuff will give you a really easy way for you to put in whatever the anchor text is and then put in the link that you want it to go to and save it. And then it just looks like normal text with like, a blue color or underline. You click on it and it takes you to the link. So a lot of web builders now have very simple ways to do it. ClickFunnels does as well. ClickFunnels has a very easy way to include links. And so you can put any sort of custom anchor text you want right on the page, which is awesome. Okay, so we're talking about links. Again, this is solo SEO. So if you really want a good strategy to eventually get to a point where your website does not rely on paid ads, that whole process is called search engine optimization, SEO. And really to do well, you must take into consideration links. And you want to get those links from really, really good sites. Okay, you want high quality, good sites. Google can sniff everybody out now. They're gone are the days when you could go create any dumb site and create a link back to your page and get traffic from it or get a benefit from it. Those days are completely gone, shut out, over. Google doesn't allow it to happen anymore. Okay, so but getting links can be somewhat difficult. So we'll talk a little bit about how to get really good links from other folks, because if you get them, then your rankings will increase, and so that means free traffic to your site, right? That's what we're talking about. Okay, so getting these links is what we call link building, and so let's just really briefly go over why you want really strong links to your site, and that is big. When it comes to search engines, you want one link from a very strong site is better than like 100 links from crappy, spammy, garbage sites. Those don't help you at all. Okay, so you really want to spend your time getting one link from a good source than wasting your time signing up for anybody out there that's selling links back to your page right now is a joke. So I don't care what the service is. If you are buying links or if you think somehow or another you can go out and find some sort of a system that sends, that connects you to other, reputable sites, it's total crap. And Google will figure it out and you will be punished for sure. Okay, so here's what makes a really good link. We're going to go through these really quick. So anchor text, we talked about that, right? So the text that it's used, the custom text that's used, that's connected to the link that they can click on and come to your site. So that anchor text, whatever that's used there. So if it says something like, the best camera in the world, and then it has a link to your site and you sell cameras, that's a good link if it's coming from a really reputable site. Okay, that would be a good link. Relevance of the site. Okay, so how related is it to the topic of your site or the product that you're selling, right? They want to see some correlating, some relationship there. The backlinks of the site. So the site that's giving you the link if it's a solid site and a lot of other people are linking to it for its, then it has a lot of authority, and Google knows that it's a good site, a solid site, because it's getting links from other really good sites. That helps the power of that link come into your site. The age of the domain. So not only the age, so Google takes into consideration not only the domain age of all other sites and your site. Okay, so it's important when you're going out and buying a URL, and this is hard for those of us that buy a lot of domain names. If you're really serious, like I would not go out and buy a domain name right now for 5 years if I thought about starting a business or whatever. But if I set up the business and it starts running, I will go ahead and renew that. I will go out and buy 5 years worth of that domain, right? I will extend it out 5 years just to show Google I'm serious. This is a business now. I am not letting this domain name go because it helps. Okay. Getting links back from .edu and .gov sites are super, super helpful. They're typically not ones where you can buy your way in or do anything sort of spammy to get in there. And they have lots of really powerful, good links coming into them. And they're internally linked really well to a lot of amazing articles. So getting a link from a .edu or a .gov site, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just .gov. It can be really any site that's known to be, part of the government, not only in the United States, but outside the United States. This can really help your rankings when those links point to you. And then location on a page, meaning Google can tell where that link is. So if they're burying you down in like a links thing down at the bottom of the page, that's not going to help you very much, right? But if it's up in the main body of the page, in the main text of the page, that's where you want to be. Okay, so anchor text, talked about it a little bit. We'll show you a couple of examples here. So it's the displayed text, and I know, so Google for Jobs, if I click on that, it's going to take me to a web page that I presume is going to be about, jobs, right? So that's what you presume. Job posting structured data. Okay, if I click on that, I'm going to expect to see something with data, and it's going to be structured, right? So we use the anchor text to sort of describe simply and easily what type of page we're going to. Okay, so anchor text then hopefully gives, if we do it right and we use it right, it will give us context to what the page is going to be that we're going to visit next if we click on that link. Okay, so this is a good example. So if you write an article entitled "How to Fix a Leaky Faucet," then others will see it. Like if they like that article and they read it and they think it's helpful and they think it'll help their readers and whoever's working on it, or they tried it and it worked really well for them, then they might write a blog post or they might do a video and say, this is really an awesome article on how to fix a leaky faucet. And so they'll link to you and they'll have like leaky faucet fixes might be the link that they use. Or, this is a great way to fix your leaky faucets. That might be their anchor text, but it might be it's going to be something that's hopefully synonymous with what your article is about, that describes it and helps people know that they're going to the right place. Okay, so when a search engine then finds your link to an article, it will take that anchor text into consideration, right? It'll say, okay, this is what this person thinks this site is about, and then they'll go check your site, and if they do match up, then that helps. Cool. Okay, so anchor text is something that's pretty important. So when you are going out and trying to get a link from a reputable site back to our page, back to our site, we want to make sure that we ask for anchor text. That we tell them, hey, it would be really great if that link that you give back to me was this, said this, right? And it will correlate to what we know our keywords are, what we know people are searching for most when they're looking for us. If we can get those to line up, that's going to help us a ton. So here's kind of a little example here of what we're talking about and how you would send this to a third party. Let's say you've written a really good article and they are experts in whatever the field that they're in, but it's correlated, right? It has a relationship to what you're trying to do. You would reach out to this person and say, hey, I've done a really good article. It's about this. Maybe you talk about them a little bit. You make sure that their readers would be really, really interested in it. Then you send it to the author or the owner of that site, and you'd say, hey, I wrote this article. This is why it's cool. This is why it'd be great for your readers. This is why I think that they should read it. I'd be happy to put one of your offers on the page. Whatever you've got to do to get a link from them to you. And then you'd say, hey, and so here's the, here's the URL to the page. And then here in that little anchor text section there, and I think if I click it, yeah, it kind of puts a red box around it. The anchor text then is finding the best SLR digital cameras would be what I hope that they use to send it to the article, because my article is entitled Finding the Best SLR Digital Cameras. Okay, so see how that kind of all correlates. This is going longer than I thought it would, but okay, relevance of a site. So you want to make sure that the content on another site is relevant to whatever your site is. So if your site's about digital cameras, then you want to make sure that the other sites would be about photography, electronics, technology, anything that is, has a relationship to, is similar to. It might be something in the buying process that you need before or after the particular product. So, right, a company that sells tripods, that might be something that would be interest. If you had a link from them, that would be good, or camera bags or whatever, that would be a really good link, right? Because it's got a relationship there. Okay, backlinks of a site. This was where Doug had a lot of questions. Sorry, quick drink, excuse me. Okay, backlinks of a site. So when we say backlinks, we're talking about all the links from other sources that are linking back to a particular site, right? And that's the site that we want and it's the site that we want to link from, right? So you want to make sure that the links coming into a site are from really reputable, solid sites. You don't want them to have a million links from the crappiest sites on the internet, because that's not going to help you very much. That is going to be a bad link to you. And honestly, you don't want to be associated with a site that has bad links coming into it, because it's like it's drinking from a dirty well. You just don't want anything to do with that at all. If you start messing in a bad neighborhood, right, you can't wrestle pigs and not get a little mud on you, whatever that saying is. I'm sorry, Grandpa. He used to say it a lot. But anyway, so that's what we want to. We want to make sure that the links coming into a site are important. And I'm going to skip. That's a little pitch for solo SEO. But so there's lots of different ways. Google has a good link tool, but there's a lot of different ways to check to make sure that the links coming into a site are really, really good. But one thing that you can do that's pretty helpful is go out and check to see if they've got any broken backlinks. And if they have any broken backlinks, if they have any links that are broken, and you tell them, say, hey, you've got some problems here, they could be really, really grateful. And you can have a lot of cool things happen from that. Okay. So backlinks, links from sites that are spammy and crappy, you don't want anything to do with them. So stay away from them. If you find out that they are hanging out in a bad neighborhood, do not let them link to your site. Do not ask them to link to your site. Okay, so we have a backlink tool on Solo SEO. I'm not going to talk about that. We don't need to worry about that. Domain age, I talked about this already. You just need to make sure that your domain, that you signify to Google that you're serious about this business. So definitely, if you're like me, I buy a lot of domain names when I have an idea. And I never buy them for more than a year. But as soon as I know that the business that I'm working on is going to take off and it's going to be a good business, then I will go back to wherever you purchase your domains. Like I'm using Google domains now. I used to use GoDaddy for years. Most of my domains are still at GoDaddy, and I just renew them there. I don't move them. But all the new domains I buy from Google. But if I, because Google works really, really well with ClickFunnels, frankly. But if I decide that a business is taking off, and I've got two that look really, really good right now, right? So I've got two businesses that are going. As soon as I'm sure that they're going to take off and do well, I will go and extend my contract to extend that domain out for a number of years, because that looks good. Okay, so the older ones look better. You'll notice some of the old sites that have really good links. All of that wraps in. So if you can get a site from from a site that has a domain, has had a domain name for a long time and has a lot of strong links, that will help you in the rankings as you move up. Okay, so we recommend 5 years. Again, only after you're sure the business is going to take off and go. And then this is kind of a weird thing, but getting links from sites that are older is something that can be very, very helpful. But I've actually seen, I still think this is somewhat spammy, but I've seen some friends have quite a bit of success of going out and looking to see finding sites that have been registered and going for a long, long time, and then going and purchasing that site. You know, like nothing's going on in the business and there's some content, like going out and buying that site from somebody for like $100, and it's something that's related to what they're doing. And then they go and put a bunch of cool articles and stuff on there and built that site up, and then get some links back to some of their articles from that site. That actually works. I hate to admit it, but we've actually seen that work quite a bit. So kind of hard to go out and figure out, but the guys that do it have found some pretty good success by boosting up sites that are older, that used to maybe do well, buy them for cheap, and then use them to boost up their own rankings. I talked about .edu and .gov extensions. They are very solid sites. It's very hard to get on these sites, which increases the sort of, I guess, the strength. If you get a link from one of these sites, then it can be very, very helpful. This is the greatest way to get a .edu link back to your site. If you go to a local university and sponsor a contest, like for any one of the colleges, it doesn't matter if you go and like, hey, yeah, I'm going to get an intern, or you want to go do you're going to go to the business class and have them do a business, plan for you, and the any professor will listen to you. Hey, I want to have a contest, and this is my business, and I want your, entrepreneurship to write a business plan for my business, split them up into 5 groups, and whoever gets it, I'm going to give them, I'm going to give them a plaque, or I will donate $500 to the school in the name of the team, or whatever it is. If you do something like that in the negotiations, when you set it up, you say, hey, yeah, I'd like to do a little write-up about the program and things like that. Could you put it on your website and then link back to me? Now you've got a link from a .edu site, and you're helping the kids, right? So everybody wins. So that's a good way to do it. Okay, location on the page, talked about this a little bit. You want to make sure that you have your link somewhere in the body of the page. You do not want it buried over on some side menu or down at the bottom. That's not going to work. A link from a photo. No, you want it up in the body there. Okay. We haven't really talked about social networks a lot, but one of the things that I definitely recommend, we definitely recommend, is that go out and grab every possible social media profile you can. Just grab them all. Okay. And then when you fill out your profile, sometimes they give you an opportunity to put a URL in there, so you can link back to your site. Stick a link in there that takes them to a sales page, for heaven's sakes. Whatever you got to do, even if you're not, using it for anything other than just that, that is a link back to your site from a very reputable source, right? A link back from any one of the social media, and there's tons of them now, right? Go out and grab every piece of social media real estate you can, and then in the profile, if they give you an opportunity to use a link, definitely take it. Gobble that up. Don't let your competitors go and grab it. Your competitors could go do the same thing. Gobble up all your names and then point them to their site. Don't let that happen. Go out and make sure that you gather up every free, if they're a social media platform that's reputable, get your account with them. And if they have a place to stick a link, throw your link in there. It's a great way to get a free link. You can see right there. Oh, kind of blinked a little bit. So that's kind of some homework, I guess, for the thing. And we'll end this up right now. And we'll come back. It worked. It totally worked. It totally worked. iPad to Ecamm Live. I'm going to do a lot of stuff with that now. So basically all the presentations that I've put together over the years I can now broadcast them live on Facebook to all my good friends that are watching. And so keynotes aren't confusing. I tried to do them like on my computer, but I've got like 3 screens, and you hit play and all the screens go blank, right? I've got presenter notes here and whatever, and I couldn't figure out a way to make Ecamm and Keynote play well together. Plug in an iPad. That's the way to do it. Life hack. Oh, I used to have that life hack. Where is it? We won't do it. Oh, yeah, we won't do it. Okay, so anyway, so yeah, go ahead and use your iPad to do presentations live on Facebook. Really cool the way that worked out. So hopefully that helps folks. Definitely when you're producing all this content, which is great. I mean, we are being encouraged to go live and get out there and get our names out there. We'll take this kind of like this Facebook Live. I now need to take this thing and turn it into text, go out and make sure I stick it on a site somewhere, whether it's Medium, whether it's my own blog, wherever it is, and go ahead and make sure that that content is there. And then I need to go through and make sure that I optimize it. If it's really good content, and if I go out and find a few people to link to it, that's going to help me immensely going forward to get free traffic. I mean, and this is evergreen free traffic that keeps coming. In the case of my buddy Doug, he is going to get, when he goes through and goes back and tries to take some of these articles I've had, he's going to tweak a few, kind of bring them up to date, and then reach back out and find some folks that link to him. Then he's going to see his rankings go back up. He dropped off the first page. He's just in the second page now. We'll get him back up to the first page pretty easily. He's pretty close. How do we see how close we are? We analyze the sites above us and see what they're doing. So he's not too far behind them. He was above them. If he just changes a few little things, he'll pop above them pretty quickly. His domain's older than theirs is. He's going to be just fine. So hopefully that helps as far as links go. We understand what links are. We understand how links work. We understand how links give us increase us as far as popularity goes on our site, so our rankings can go up, so we get free traffic, and eventually we won't have to pay for traffic going forward to our funnels, to our sites, to whatever we're trying to do. So hopefully that's helpful. This is Aaron Stewart from the Little Black Couch. I love entrepreneurship. I really enjoy talking about it, being involved in it, researching it, and thank you so much for joining me today. If you've liked this video, go ahead and subscribe to our page. Follow us here on the Little Black Couch. We will have more content coming, and working on a couple cool projects that we will announce on this Facebook page. 2 new technology products that are going to help you immensely in your businesses. I can't wait till I can share those with you. We're testing. Actually, there's some testing going on right now down the hall. So I'll go see how this is going. In fact, this live, when I get done, will become part of the test that's going on down the hall. That's how we do things here. So thanks for joining me. Until next time, Aaron Stewart from the Little Black Couch. Go kill it, entrepreneurs. Do good. Be well.